Here at Westcon Comstore, we help partners realize their business and financial potential. We're passionate about delivering their financial success and growth. This drives what we do day in, day out. Our value to partners centers on our deep-rooted vendor relationships. This means we can help partners capture business opportunities with established and emerging technology providers. Importantly, we are equally close to partners, global and local. With custom-made business support, based on our exclusive Edge model, we're a seamless extension to partner operations. We share the same focus on delivering what the end customer needs. We take responsibility when the going gets tough, and we're in it for the long term. Should things get complex, we can deploy our extensive service capabilities. If a customer RFP stretches resources, we can help to flex and scale with access to our wide range of technical experts. We understand what it is to be truly end-to-end. We also pave the way for our partners' future growth. The technology marketplace is changing, and we can help partners meet their customers' digital transformation needs. Our know-how, models, as well as integrated supply chain, we aim to simplify the channel and to make doing business easy. So, partners present and future, at Westcon Comstore, we're right by your side.
We understand that partners need more than just solutions to succeed. They need to adapt to changes in the market. They must stay agile and on top of new trends, technologies and products. Only with the right support, insight and innovation can they expect to grow and thrive. Introducing Edge, our unique, tailored approach to every opportunity and our commitment to every partner. More than just a word, Edge is how we translate our difference into real value. Value our competitors can't match. Edge provides the framework to ensure partners engage and onboard with our vendor portfolio and core services. We develop their business with pre-sales consultancy and support, including certification, training and mentoring. We help them grow with financial and capital support alongside marketing and access to new vendors and technologies. Plus, we extend their reach by unlocking more profitable international opportunities and expanding into new markets. We work with each partner to understand their individual needs and tailor these materials and tools so they're a perfect fit wherever they are in the market or sales cycle. Find out how we can accelerate your business and get a competitive edge. Talk to the Westcon Comstore team today.
Well, Comstore have enjoyed a global relationship with Cisco for more than 25 years now, and we have an exclusive focus on Cisco products. It's all we do, and this is great because it allows us to have all of the knowledge that we need to help our partners grow as fast as they can on their Cisco business. Comstore believe that it's really important to ensure that we have subject matter experts aligned to all of the architectures at Cisco. We have that on a central basis in our EMEA team, but we also have it replicated in every single country. This allows us to have on the ground subject matter experts on those architectures to help our partners. And we believe that if our partners get access to that, they're going to accelerate their business more quickly. My one key takeaway would be that we believe we consistently grow our partners' business faster than any other distributor in the channel.
Hi, good morning everyone, and welcome to today's virtual event that will focus on stay connected and stay productive with Cisco and Comstore. My name is Tushar Chawla and I'm the Group Business Manager at Westcon Comstore. Organizations worldwide are rapidly adapting to an increased demand for remote and flexible working measures. But being effective and productive away from office is about more than simply using a web meeting service on a laptop at home. It is about having the right collaboration tools that can be used at any device, at any time and anywhere, with the security that protects the company and customer data without compromising ease of use. At Comstore, we know that security and connectivity are two very important aspects to maintain high productivity levels. During today's event, we will be exploring the best-in-class solutions from Cisco that can help you stay connected and stay productive. Today's event is hosted on our events platform Venue and will allow you to interact with us throughout the event and take part in the live quiz competitions that will be taking place after every presentation. We will be conducting a short survey at the end of the event today, and please do share your feedback with us so that we can do better to improve the overall experience for our attendees at our virtual conferences. To kickstart today's event, I would like to welcome Thomas Swinnon, who is the EMEA Technical Marketing Engineer at Comsto, to talk about creating a future-ready network for hybrid workplaces. Hi, Thomas. Welcome to the event.
Good day, everyone. My name is Thomas Swinnon. I will talk today about the future of work. And for that, of course, I will use my experience as a technical marketing engineer in Cisco Enterprise Networking, Cisco Business Networking, as well as Meraki Networking. And like most of you today in the session, I have been working basically a lot from home in the last 2 years. Now, obviously, 2 years in the IT world is quite a lot. And we've seen a lot of enhancements on that field. One of the enhancements were, we started with secure remote working. And at some point, we started to look into technology for increased productivity and efficiency. Now, we've seen these improvements happening basically always on the remote working environment. So powered by hardware, obviously, because we still need to access the network from our homes. And we've seen that even in certain occasions, we saw business endpoints appearing in homes. But I believe the most important aspect here to look into, the most important products are software related. Basically, more security, how to connect to applications like dual factor authentication, also securing your connections to the cloud powered by Umbrella. Of course, also be sure that whatever connections or device you have, it's protected with antivirus or malware protections, and then you can power that with help. That is what we have seen growing in the last 2 years, and technology, of course, grew with us in this journey. The question, however, is how does the office look like today? And specifically, it hasn't really been evolved in the last 2 years, while we did. At least not us, but the applications we use. So they are, of course, they now require more throughput, more performance. And we also see that the threats out there have also been improved in the last 2 years. So how are we going to fix, or let's say, how do we catch up the office? 2 things to be aware of. Obviously, again, the hardware. Let's make sure the performance we have is increased up to the requirements of current applications. And second of all, let's use what has been evolved at home, and let's use that now across the entire deployment. So we can also have the same security benefits also spread over to the office. We also power that obviously with identity-based securities, and we can also have increased productivity or connectivity between sites, home offices, using SD-WAN deployments if required. If not, you can always fall back to IPsec or one MACsec. And I will talk about these 2 features, of course, later on in the slides. Geographically speaking, these are different areas. From an IT perspective, this is one area, one network, and we need to behave this as such. So, of course, we then rely on centralized applications for increased productivity, performance, connectivity, as well as management. And these are just some examples you can fall back to have that centralized visibility. But obviously, we're going to talk about the office today. How do we get the office up to speed? And for that, we're going to use products that are right now, right here available. So that's the good thing about this. Everything you will see here today, you can do right now. Let's zoom in on the office. Now, obviously, we need to get this office up and running, and we do that in 4 different steps today. So we're going to increase the performance. We're going to increase the flexibility of our remote sites connecting to our, of course, central sites. We're going to increase visibility on user behavior as well as spaces. And in the end, I'm going to talk a little bit about centralized management, because now we talk about different platforms, and they're all managed using their own dashboards. So how do we fix that? There's an opportunity out there. First of all, to increase the performance. There's an opportunity of hardware replacements. We have $4 billion in switching worldwide, which we can rely on upgrading, migrating. There are still 9 million access points that need to be migrated to Wi-Fi 6. So that's a little bit of a flash snapshot about the opportunity out there. Let's just see how we are going to do this. First of all, let's zoom in on the network layer, the wired connections. Recently, Cisco released the new Catalyst 9000X range, and we're going to use a 9300X as an example in this case. These are just some examples of the benefits that this device brings. And I'm not going to talk about all of them because we don't have the time for that, but I'm going to highlight these specific elements. Obviously, they have to do a lot with flexibility, security, as well as performance increase. I'm going to highlight them using the next coming slides. The network itself, the campus, so this is a campus size, so this is rather large. And a typical campus deployment exists out of 3 different layers, as we know: the access layer, the distribution layer, and the core layer. The difference now is that we see 100 gigabit connections to the access layer. Why does this make sense? I'm working from home now. Usually I'm the only person working from home. My network connection is solely for me. So this means that I have no interruptions from other users, and my bandwidth is quite high. So I have full performance on dedicated to myself. All my files, at least most of them, they are stored in the cloud or in the data center from the office. So I need a sustainable connection to those cloud applications. High demanding connections. When you look here, let's take a look at this mixed stack in the access layer. We have 6 devices, 6 switches, all gigabit connections, all fine. But if you connect them over a 10 gig uplink, not so fine. So that's the reason why we need to look into upgrading those uplink connections and bring the 100 gig to the access. Do we always need 3 levels? We don't. If you are zooming in on small-sized campuses, you can of course use a collapsed access connecting to the core. One single stack of 9300 or 9300X. When you use 9300X solely, you can increase the stacking bandwidth up to 1 terabit per second, just for your knowledge. When you talk about mid-size and larger sized campus networks, then obviously you need to maintain that structure. Why is that? Now, obviously, we see here a distribution layer powered by 9500. These Catalyst devices are, well, super important for larger sized campuses because they do support more MAC addresses than the 9300 do. They support more access lists. Just one example, the 9300 supports 5,000 access lists, the 9300X 8,000, but the 9500H, that one supports 27,000 access lists. So here you'll see the importance of putting the 9500s in the distribution. Now that's all I have to say about the large-sized deployments. Does it mean that the branch is still bound to 10 gig? Not at all. We can also deploy a collapsed core on the branch. And if you have more than 10, 20, or 25 users, you might also start to deploy an access layer. So you will have also 100 gig to your access layer. Same performance, same devices. So let's take a look at that branch site here. Let's take a look at the smaller deployments, because there is something extra in these devices that we're going to leverage today. And this extra is called the branch in a box. It's no longer just a switch. We can deploy virtual machines on it. And from now, recently, we can start building IPsec connections straight from that box to the central campus core, to the cloud for secure web traffic. We do that using a secure IPsec connection from our Cat9K to the central site routers. Or, and then of course in the other case, we can connect IPsec connections to the Umbrella Cloud or Zscaler for SASE connections for secure web access. I have to tell you that this is a new feature. It's introduced in the 9300s, but the 9300X is doing all of that in hardware. This means that you will have no impact on the performance of that switch. This means that you will have up to 100 gigabits of IPsec throughput on that switch, which is pretty amazing. So these high-end switches, they also have a place in smaller branches. When you talk about the brownfield, you probably already have a site-to-site, you already have MPLS connections, so you don't need to have this IPsec technology. but then at least you can fall back to the existing WAN MACsec technology, encrypting layer 2 traffic over from your central site to your branch offices, straight into the core from the central site. This does not need to be an Xbox, an Xbox 29200X system or a 9300 system. So you can straight do that from catalyst to catalyst. This is a technology which is already out there since quite a while and also powered by your newer switches. How to control this? Because that's the next step. Now, of course, this device can do that. How to configure all of that? I will give you two options. Either you have DNA center, and then it's very easy to visually configure all of these tunnels, even from site to site, as well as from site to SASE, Secure Access Services Edge connections, to Umbrella SIG, Secure Internet Gateways. If you don't have DNA center in place, you can deploy a virtual machine on your box, which is doing the configuration. You build a VRF and create site-to-site connections right on that system. There are other virtual applications you can deploy on that system. Let's say an agent from Thousand Eyes, which is now fully incorporated within Cisco's Catalyst systems. You can visualize all the traffic to your cloud applications and understand where in this entire journey problems rise. So you can all get this information back into your dashboard. You don't have to fully focus on Thousand Eyes to get statistics out of the network. You can also deploy your own browser bots. You can have page load test browser bots included, as well as transaction test browser bots. All of these applications can be deployed on your system, and then the data can be exported into one of these dashboards. Could be DNA Center, could be your own dashboard. So let's talk a little bit about the space itself, because now we have an improved, I promise you to talk about 4 different elements here, 2 already tackled. The performance, the flexibility of deploying central and remote sites. Now, third of all, the space. We are welcoming our colleagues back into the office. Now, one thing to be aware of is the density of people that we of course can welcome, the amount of guests that we of course also welcome. To keep an eye on the amount of people, we can fall back to these digital signage dashboards. And this information is coming from the network, because access points as well as Catalyst switches can now start to talk to DNA Spaces to report the amount of visitors you have in the network. We can have reports on Wi-Fi traffic. We can have reports on BLE, so Bluetooth connections, as well as RFID chips that you can put into batches for visitors, that you can count how many people you have. Now we can also extract that traffic information from the 9300X using MDT model-driven telemetry. So we can extract that information from 802.1x connections, so you always understand how many users you have connected. That's in a space, in an office space, where people are usually connected to the Wi-Fi or the network. When you do not have an office space, like retail, stores, bars, restaurants, these kind of deployments, where typically users are not connected to the network, or not so much, then you can always go and take a look at the cameras themselves, because the MV cams, they do screening of body counts, and they can report on the exact same statistics and put that also into digital signage. But now you will have a full view of even unconnected clients. Then you can get this footfall, the presence, how long people are present in your location, as well as the right now statistics. So that was a sidetrack. Let's go back to the office. The office here, we also see that there's another business unit here we also have to be aware of. The business unit that is trying to improve the building itself to become smart. A lot of applications and more are using Bonjour as our standard for communicating between their applications and, of course, the central site to the central dashboards to report on what's going on. So all of these applications are more and more using Bonjour as the standard. So please then make sure that your new network equipment is also capable of understanding the Bonjour standard. There are a few other elements in here that we also can start to deploy when you talk about smart buildings, and that is the air quality, the humidity, and the temperature. if you have seen that previous slide a bit more close up with my digital signage board, you might have detected that these elements were also populated in that digital signage. So what's the air quality in your meeting room? What's the humidity in your office? And what's the temperature right now? These are also part of the smart buildings. And as a good thing, as a positive note, Cisco is building these sensors more and more into their equipment. So the newest Catalyst 9136i, the new Wi-Fi 6E access point, has all of these three built in. So you can extract the information from where the AP is hanging in that specific meeting room, in that specific location. And that information can then be brought to signage boards or to one of these applications you can build. That's tackling the smart sensors. Now, obviously, I have been talking here quite extensively about different technologies, multi-architecture technologies, mainly in the enterprise world, but also small business deployments. And I do understand that in some cases, the customer is not looking for DNA center or enterprise equipment. In some cases, Cisco business devices might be perfectly suitable or sufficient in that case. This has its own dashboard, which is called Cisco Business Dashboard. Now, in other cases, we might have a shop somewhere in a city center where we need to have a cloud managed system like Meraki. Still within the same customer, we have two different technologies now running and, of course, powered on, differently managed using the Meraki system dashboard. And thirdly, we might have a data center which is requiring those new high throughput that the Catalyst 9300X is supporting, which can be powered by or managed by Cisco DNA Spaces. Three different dashboards. And I usually get this question coming back from customers. Thomas, we have different management platforms. How can we keep an eye on the entire network? Because this is one single customer. So for that, I have, of course, one option here. And I'm going to show you that with a little demonstration. Alexa, analyze my network.
First, your Cisco business branch is fully operational and no heavy consumers are detected. Second, your HQ is reporting an increased load on your core switch exceeding the set threshold. Third, your Meraki-powered retail network is reporting a guest consuming 1.5 gigabytes of YouTube traffic. Shall I apply the restricted video use policy?
Yes.
Restricted video use policy applied to Thomas Samsung S10 in your Meraki-powered retail.
I have a script running that is connecting to all of these three different branches. It doesn't matter what technology you use. You can extract the information you need. You can change the configuration that needs to be changed. In my example here, my home situation in this case, I've now locked my own client out of YouTube use because I applied the group policy of YouTube restricted video policy for my client. Now, of course, for that, we need to understand the openness that these platforms have. They all support APIs. So you can connect all of these technologies into one single dashboard. So yes, there is no standard platform or dashboard that you can now use, but you can build your own. The additional power you have now is making customized or custom-built solutions for your customers with your logo on the top left corner from this dashboard. You sell your brand and not Cisco. It's powered by Cisco, but it's your solution. So what you've seen here is just an API connection. And if you would like to know more about that, we have, of course, trainings because we find it super important that all of our customers is enabled with this power, with these capabilities. We have trainings available. Get in touch with your account managers, with your BDMs, and let's schedule a session to get you up to speed with the power of these solutions. So that was my brief session about the future of work. Now we all see that it's hybrid and the office is coming back, but it has some catching up to do. These four elements have been zoomed into. Let's make sure that the more demanding applications are supported, and then we keep the threats that have been evolved in the last 2 years, that we keep them out. We have a flexible scenario of deployment of connecting branch offices, even smaller sites to HQ. We have full insight and visibility on the space powered by DNA Spaces, and of course the new Cat9KX, and to provide an overlay of visibility and control. Please take a look at these APIs and create your own solutions powered by or branded by your own brand. So this was my talk about the future of work, that it's hybrid, and the good thing of all of this, it's here today. So the demonstration about that one was all live, so you can also do this one yourself. Thank you very much for your attention if you have been listening. And to close off, there's one last thing that I'm going to ask from all of you here in the call, and this is a little quiz. I've prepared 5 questions for you to just test your knowledge on the information you have seen in my slides. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Thomas, for that very informative session. I would now like to welcome Rajkumar Yadav, who is the technical consultant at Comstore Middle East, to talk about exploring the future of work with Cisco collaboration. Hi, Raj. Welcome to the event.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining this session. My name is Rajkumar Yadav. I am working as a technical consultant. Today, we're going to be discussing on the future of work. So as a distributor, we interact a lot with our partners and customers, and they always have this point in this post-pandemic world, what exactly the future of work would look like, right? And normally we say it is definitely hybrid, correct? So before we jump into the hybrid work and how Cisco's solution is helping us to achieve that, we need to understand what exactly the hybrid work is. So let's say, since in this post-pandemic world, people have started going back to office, we have an example like, let's say an employee is have working 5 days a week. So first 2 days he decides to go to office, work from there, and the next 2 days he says, I want to cut down the commute and I want to work from home, right? And maybe on the fifth day he has some meetings with his partners and customers. He may go to their side, he may go to cafe, work from there, interact with them, perform the meeting, and come back home. So this is what exactly the hybrid work is. Sometimes you work from home, sometimes you work from office, and sometimes somewhere in between. That's exactly the future hybrid work is, and the future of work is definitely hybrid. Okay. Now we have the hybrid workplace index from Cisco, which does kind of a lot of researches, and based on that we have some values. So I want to share around 4 to 5 examples based on those workplace hybrid index, and what it says that 77% of the employees gonna embrace a flexible work style. What exactly that means? That means that people are looking for a job which allows them to have a flexible work style, not something always work from office. So this really gonna impact whether they're gonna stay or they're gonna leave the job. And second point, which I would like to discuss, in this new world, around 98% of the meetings gonna have at least one remote attendee. Now, this word remote is something we need to take down out of our vocabulary, because remote is not something just a remote. It's more into a distance location or distributed location where our employees or our knowledge workers would be working. And we need to make sure it is treated as a first class location as we treat our office. Then another point is the conference room, the optimization of the conference room. People are coming back to office. As you know, the meeting rooms were optimized only for in-room experience. We used to hardly have people joining from remote, right? Earlier days. But in this new world, we're gonna have our internal employees, partners, customers joining remotely. Okay, so we need to optimize the our conference room both for in-room as well as for remote experience. As I told you before, 98% of the meeting is going to have a remote attendees. So we need to make sure our rooms are optimized for both, and we need to make sure everyone have their equal say. Another important factor from the hybrid workplace index is gauging their well-being. So normally in the past, employees are working from the office. As a manager, as a co-worker, you would always have this proximity and visual cues, right? You can pretty much understand or make kind of assumption like whether it was something bad with him or something not good with him, some kind of a assumption, or you can understand, right, from your co-workers how they are behaving, how they are doing. But let's say the co-workers are no more working next to you. They may be working in the remote locations, or maybe work from home, or maybe from other place. You may not have a lot of kind of visual cues interaction. In that way we have to make sure that the proactive engagement is taking care of those factors. We have to make sure that they are not completely burnout, fatigued, or tired because of lots of virtual meetings, lot of hard work. So we need to make sure there is a work life balance for them. This is where technology is going to play an important factor to achieve that. Apart from that, as we see the hybrid work, it's not something a very simple to achieve. It has lot of multiple areas, and it's not just a problem like a software problem for IT to solve. It's kind of a requires a cultural shift, technology shift, and leadership shift. So basically the IT team would be planning to make some reconfiguration changes. The IT team, sorry, the HR team would be looking for well-being of an employee, how the hybrid workplace is impacting the employees in terms of retention, in terms of well-being, in terms of hiring, recruitment, everything. And the facilities team. So facility teams would be already, making some kind of real estate changes to accommodate the hybrid work. People, maybe doing a hot desking and all those stuff. So all these three teams coming together, and you may have already experienced in your organization also that we have IT, HR, and the facility team coming together to make some changes so the employees can return work safely. So this is how the hybrid work it is, and it cannot be solved by one team or one person. So based on this, what I thought, it is not very simple, right? It has a lot of factors and it has a lot of metrics. So how do we measure the success of this hybrid work? So we had, as a Cisco, had a lot of interaction with the partners and customers, and what they say that we have 5 characteristics which makes the hybrid work a very successful, and those are flexible, inclusive, supportive, secure, and manage. So flexible means it pretty much adapts to any work style, role, and environment. So your solution should be adaptive as per your user's requirement. It's not something the other way. It should be inclusive. That means anyone joining the meeting or anyone using the solution, whether they are in office, outside, anywhere, on any device, they should have the equal experience, right? And for everyone. Supportive in the sense the well-being of an employee focused on empathy, sympathy, and well-being. And the secure, as Cisco DNA says that we are secure by design, private by default. Security is inbuilt into our architecture. It's not something bolted on. And we have a lot of new enhancement in the features like DLP, like E2E, ethical vaults, which really makes the solution much more secure. And towards the end, it should be managed modern infrastructure, frictionless administration. Because if our IT administrators are having a very tough time, it would really become a nightmare for them to manage all this solution. And top of it, it should be easy to use by our end customers, and it should be frictionless experience for them. So that's how the 5 factors or 5 characteristics makes a hybrid solution a very successful one. So what we're going to do, we're going to take Cisco WebEx solution. We're going to tell you these are the innovations, features against these each of these characteristics and how Cisco is fulfilling that to achieve the successful hybrid work. So let's get started with that. So I'm going to start with the characteristics called flexible. So I want to explain you how Cisco WebEx is flexible. So this is, if you see in the screenshot, this is your WebEx app, your unified app for meetings, messaging, calling, pair and share, API integration, you just name it, every pretty much done from this single app. And this unified app pretty much works with your any type of deployment, whether it is your on-premises calling, cloud calling, hybrid, it pretty much works seamless. So here I want to give an example that I can use this app either on my laptop, Mac, iPhone, Android. I can be on my Wi-Fi, I can be on 4G, 5G connection, and pretty much I can be anywhere, not just in office. I can be in the home, I can be on the way, commuting in the train. I can pretty much attend the training, so attend the meetings, calls without any disruption. So this is how the app is flexible. And even if you're transitioning from, let's say you are on mobile with a meeting and you want to move out of the office, it would be a seamless transition from your Wi-Fi to your 4G or 5G network without disconnecting your meeting. You pretty much remain in the meeting. You don't need to rejoin the meeting. That's how the flexibility is. You can pretty much escalate a call to a meeting anytime. You don't have to, kind of cancel the call, schedule a meeting. You can pretty much escalate a call to a meeting on the spot instantly. So that's how the app is flexible for you guys. The other option is your custom layouts, right? So normally when I talk about WebEx is not just a traditional video conference. You just schedule a call, you join, and you're done. No, we are more than that, and I'm going to explain you with our latest innovations and features. So here, one of the features I'm talking is a custom layout. So you get equal layout, you get grid layout. In our WebEx, we already have 5x5, which gives around 25 participants in a single hub or single window, and you can scroll it to make more. But apart from that, we have the options of side by side. We can drag and drop. We can make the custom layout as per our requirement. And you know what? I can, if I want to concentrate on a specific person or specific speaker, I can pretty much drag and make it on the main stage to be having the main focus on that guy. And as a host, if I want to push this customized layout to all my attendees attending this meeting, I can pretty much do it with one click of a button. So what I am seeing, I want to make sure my attendees are also seeing the same thing. I can pretty much do that. There is nothing that I have to tell them you have to, do multiple changes. I just do it. I just push it to the attendees. They can see the same thing what I'm seeing. So that's how flexible it is. The other option is your audience engagement. So you would have heard Slido is now pretty much integrated with our WebEx solution, right? Now Slido is more of a help you to achieve a more engageful meetings, events, and even foster a more inclusive culture and build more meaningful connections. So basically, it allows 6 different types of type of interactive polls and moderated Q&A. It supports with the dynamic Q&A, polls, quizzes, word clouds, etc. So you can have the engagement before the start of meeting, during the meeting, and after the meeting. So your audience are always engaged with you, and everyone, with one of the example I use most often in my meeting is the word cloud. So I can ask the guys like how you're feeling today, or what is your profile, and they just put their word into that, and I can pretty much see the maximum word with the bold letters. So that's how you are giving an option, an opportunity for all the attendees to have their equal say in the meeting, right? So this is how the Slido works. Apart from that, we have this socio. As you have heard about, during the pandemic, people were all forced to work from home. The events all became virtual events. They were not even physical events happening. So socio is one of the platform acquired by Cisco, is now complete part of the WebEx suite. It allows you to have the hybrid events. It's not just a kind of a presenter and panelist. It is more than that. So you can pretty much have the let's say you can have the options of advanced networking, event gamification, sponsorship, custom agenda building, and more. And you can pretty much have this hybrid setup where you can have a small kind of a auditorium. You can run your event and you have your local people joining the event. And if you want to have a global coverage, you can use this social platform to allow those people to join virtually, and even those people will have the full visibility of what is happening, different as what I told about sponsorship, gamification, networking, every information they can use it from the portal. Yeah. And after that, we have this hybrid workspace. Now, hybrid workspace is basically all of your WebEx devices. So Cisco is the only vendor in the market who has its own meeting platform and its own WebEx devices portfolio tightly integrated in a kind of a WebEx ecosystem. If you go to any other vendor, you would have different vendors for meeting, different vendors for devices. That's where the solution is not so user friendly. Now with Cisco devices, you can have devices for different use styles or work style or maybe use cases. You can have devices, frontline WebEx 840, 860 devices where they can use with the Wi-Fi network, and they can use the meetings used for healthcare sector and different scenarios. Then for the remote work employees, we they don't want to buy expensive devices. They can go with WebEx desk camera, with the WebEx headset, with active noise cancellation feature. And we have a lot of innovations announced recently in the WebEx one, where we have 320 model. We have our lot of new headsets were also announced. And as you know, we are already a lot of IP phone models of 88 series, 78 series. And apart from that, there is a WebEx Desk Hub, which is used for the hot desking scenario. And for the knowledge worker, we also have the Desk Pro, Desk, and Desk Mini. So Pro is kind of a 27-inch video endpoint with stylus capability, touchscreen, whiteboarding, annotation capabilities with 4K resolution. And if you go to the desk model, it's kind of a small version, 23-inch. It do allows the whiteboarding and all, but it's more of a 1080 pixel resolution. And then the latest is the desk mini with the cradle. You can take it and move it around your home. You can take it in your office anytime, and you can use it for both personal as well as professional work, right? And then we already have the WebEx Board Pro series, room series endpoints with our codecs capability, which can be used for executive rooms, boardrooms, meeting rooms. So these are all devices which are, let's say, flexible from the user adoption. If they want a specific set of devices, Cisco have that solution in that their portfolio. So there is no something they have to spend a very lot of amount to achieve those level of video capability. They can pretty much achieve with a cheap amount, with a very economical budget. Let's say with the desk camera, they can achieve the video capability of 4K resolution also. So apart from that, as I told you, we are not just a video conference solution. We are more into a complete ecosystem. So we do provide APIs integration where we can embed the WebEx solution inside the third-party product, or the third-party product itself can be embedded and opened or launched and operated from our WebEx app. We have a lot of simple examples where we have the Microsoft workload. We can have the Microsoft documents open from the WebEx app and vice versa. We can have the WebEx chat from the Word document or Excel documents. There are a lot of examples on that. Okay. Now, coming to the inclusive. So we covered pretty much on the flexibility. Now we're going to go to the inclusivity. So inclusive. Now, with the WebEx translation, real-time translation feature, what we are doing, we are removing any kind of a language barrier. We are removing any kind of a socioeconomic status. We are allowing global employees with different language to work in an organization. So how we are achieving that? So maybe if you see in the screenshot, I have an example of meeting running where the other remote attendees, they don't understand English, they understand Spanish. So when they are listening to the meeting content, they can pretty much do the live translation from English to the Spanish, and they can pretty much read everything in Spanish. And when they reply, they're going to reply in Spanish. And the party, the host, can change from Spanish to English so he can pretty much understand what the other guy is talking in Spanish. So this way, we are removing any kind of a barrier to have a meeting, right? So apart from that, we have the digital assistant, basically called the WebEx assistant for meeting, which allows you to do transcriptions. Transcription is something like subtitles happening at the bottom, which is now included free of cost. You can also take action items, notes, and have this content available to you at end of the meeting, which you can send it to your people in the meeting who have not joined or joined for any further action items. Apart from the recording, we have this complete transcription which can be used for any reference or action item. This is how powerful this WebEx meeting is. And the next feature which I would be talking is one of my favorite feature in WebEx, because this really allows me to sit in my desk and that's it, run all the meetings. I don't care if my colleague is shouting or they are talking to someone on another mobile call. I'm pretty much confident that my voice is going to the other party. So here we have this active noise cancellation, which is a Babel Apps integration, which we did the acquisition. So we just removed the noise, right, using the artificial intelligence. But the enhancement which we did recently is the optimize your voice feature. So removing the noise is something, you remove the background noise. So if someone is running any motor and all, that voice is literally cut out. Let's say you're sitting in your office with around 50, 70 people next to you at their desk, and you're also sitting at their desk and you are running a meeting. You don't want other co-workers' voice to go to the meeting, right? So you can optimize your voice feature, which will literally cut down the voice of your co-workers. This way you will be more, you would be more concentrating to the meeting rather than getting complaints that there is a noise background happening. So this is where the AI feature literally help us to achieve the meetings with active noise cancellation and optimized voice feature. The next feature I would be talking is the immersive share. So, you know that before this launch of feature, normally if you attend any WebEx meeting or event, the shared content and the presenter are shown side by side during the meeting, right? With immersive share, you can overlay your video content on top of the presentation. You can pretty much change the size, drag and drop it from anywhere on any location. So this helps us to achieve a more eye-to-eye contact where you able to show yourself and present the presentation just like you are watching any kind of a weather forecast reporting. So this literally helps to understand what you are talking and what presentation they are showing, and the viewers, the attendees, they would be achieve okay, you would be having eye to eye contact with them to get this, meeting concept which you're looking for. So after that, we're gonna be going to the supportive feature. In supportive feature, I'm gonna covering a single point here is the WebEx Insight. As I told you before, sympathy, empathy, the proximity cues, right? Remember what I talked initially. But being an employee, I want to check how much time I'm spending in connecting the meetings, in managing meetings, in the time spent in the meeting, as well as I want to see my goals if I'm able to achieve it in a day or not. This is where the WebEx Insight helps you to get all this information in a single page inside the WebEx app. You don't have to log into any other app. What exactly is achieved here is if I go to the WebEx Insight, I can see how much time I have spent today, how much time I have spent in the meetings, how quickly I'm able to join the meeting, how much time I'm putting on the focus work. So this really helps me to understand that I need to change, I need to do better thing to make my work life balance a more balanced one. So this is how the WebEx Insight help us to achieve the time spent on the meetings, in the work, and you can decide whether you need to spend this much time or you need to cut down literally. Apart from that, we have another feature called WebEx Assistant for devices. Just like you have the Amazon devices, and you say, Alexa, please start the music or whatever, same approach. You enter into a meeting room, you just say, okay, WebEx, join the meeting. This is kind of a touchless operation. There are a lot of other options possible with this AI assistant feature of the devices. It just depends how you integrate at the background. So this really helps us to achieve a touchless operation or touchless joining the meeting solution. And apart from that, I would like to say our devices are not like dumb devices kept in the room and they are just doing nothing when they are not in meeting. We are more than that. We are literally have a sensors. The sensors help us to understand the office occupancy, desk utilization, digital signage can also be one of the options, wayfinding with the DNS spaces integration, and we can pretty much monitor the air quality, the temperature, and the humidity. This really helps us to understand whether we need to on the AC, whether we need to do some kind of a cleaning to make sure the next meeting the room is properly ready. So these all information is collected from the devices to the WebEx Control Hub, and the WebEx Control Hub you can have all the information. And through API integration, pretty much you can relay this information to the relevant servers as well. Now, from the supportive, we're going to jump to secure. So how WebEx solution is secure? So as I told you before, we are private by default. We have designed the WebEx solution in such a way that security is already inbuilt. We don't do security on top of the existing products, right? But with extended security pack, we understand there are a lot of use cases, right? So these use cases would be fulfilled with this extended security pack. For example, if you need an ethical walls are basically a solution which blocks internal communication. A simple example, in a large bank, you have the investment bankers and the company research analyst, and they shouldn't be talking to each other on the WebEx app. This is done by default by creating the policy inside the WebEx Control Hub, so they will never able to talk to each other. The policy itself denies that, and neither they would be added into the space which allows them to talk to each other. So this is where we are fulfilling this use case through use of ethical walls. Apart from that, one more interesting feature is zero trust. What exactly zero trust means that no one is trusted by default from inside or outside, and a verification is always required before someone try to join or gain the access to the meeting. So you have heard about end-to-end encryption. So when you talk about meetings or events or WebEx solution, data at rest and data at transit should be secured, encrypted, right? But how about the user identity? How you can ensure that the imposters stay out of the meetings? So I have a very simple solution, zero trust. That means if someone is joining the meeting and if they don't have existing WebEx org or their domain is not verified, simply they will be unverified status. And if there is a CEO or CIO level meeting happening or any finance meeting happening, and if someone joined with a guest not with verified identity, I can pretty much tell them to go out and join with the verified status, or I can pretty much expel them. This way, I can make sure that my critical confidential information is not shared with someone which I don't trust. And if they, so we have two status coming. One is the meeting security status, AES 256, another the user identity is showing as a verified or it is coming as a guest. So these are these latest innovations happening. And apart from that, we have a lot of other innovations like DLP. And now with Thatleaks, we have real-time DLP. So instantly what will happen that if you put any kind of a document which is having PCI, PHI information, that would be automatically deleted instantly in real-time DLP scenario before even it's other user is able to even see that message came. So this is how powerful this solution is. Apart from that, solution should be completely managed, right? So it should be a modern managed infrastructure. So for IT administrators, They get the access to the WebEx Control Hub where they can do the complete provisioning, onboarding users, configurations, troubleshooting, analytics, reports, the multiple services integration, all those things done at single place, which is a WebEx Control Hub. And this really helps our administrator to concentrate on the adoption rather than just troubleshooting or just playing with the solution with too much web interface to manage everything. So they can pretty much concentrate on the adoption. They can check how the adoption is going on, what they can do better for the adoption of the users services. And apart from that, our latest acquisition of Thousand Eyes, which is going to be integrated with our WebEx controller, which help us to give us a proactive visibility into the state of your network. So you have a critical meeting, it's going to be running in next 2 hours or next day. You can have the visibility, proactive visibility that whether I'm able to connect from this location to the data center of the WebEx where it's going to connect my meeting going to be hosted. If there is already an issue, I can always request an ISP to reroute my traffic, or already I have a multiple ISPs, I can reroute my traffic from my own end. So this proactive visibility into the state of network from inside to outside, outside to inside is provided by Thousand Eyes. And this really helps you to understand where is the outage, where is the problem. It is to your ISP, is it to any other point of presence, basically internet pop, or it is something at the provider level or at the vendor level. All this information is proactively available to you in the WebEx controller through the power of Thousand Eyes. So that's it, guys. Done from my side. I hope you have enjoyed my session. If you have any questions and concerns, please put your questions here. And there would be a quiz after this session. I request you guys to join the quiz and try to win some prizes. Thank you everyone for joining this session.
Thank you, Raj, for that very informative session. Our next session will be focusing on keeping the hybrid workplace safe and thriving with Cisco Security. Please join me in welcoming Sanjaya, who is the architecture lead for Cisco Security at Comstor Middle East, to conduct this session. Hi, Sanjaya. Welcome to the event.
Hi, my name is Sanjay. I take care of the Cisco security with Comstor. And today I'm going to talk to you about how you can secure a hybrid workforce. So obviously, the need to secure your hybrid workforce is because the way we work has changed. I think about 1.5 years back, it was about securing the remote workforce. But now, since we've started heading back to the office, it's become an hybrid environment where you got teams working from home and the office as well. Plus, the hybrid work environment or the hybrid work scenario is here to stay because, as you can see, 70% of the CIOs are anticipating that this is how the future of work would be. Plus, 77% of employees are happy to, work in the flexible work style. Obviously, it gives them more time with family as well, reduced time to commute, which saves a lot of time, and the employees themselves are more productive. But there are challenges when it comes to hybrid work, just as there were challenges with the secure remote work environment. So, the main challenges here are securing your workforce and enabling them seamless access to the applications and the collaboration or whatever tools that they're trying to access. Now, why does it matter? Obviously, securing your hybrid workforce is a critical requirement, especially when you look at these numbers. As you can see, a ransomware attack is predicted every 11 seconds. This was from 2021, keeps going till 2022 as well. 81% of breaches are involving the compromised credentials. Your users working from a coffee shop or working from an at their home environment or wherever they are, right? So that's another risk that is being faced. 52% of the surveyed individuals said that mobile devices are being one of their major challenges to defend. Obviously, with the amount of mobile devices that are there, the new updates that come along, the new devices that come along, this is a huge issue for the CIOs. 69% of leaders say that ransomware attacks are one of their greatest concerns that they have, especially with the hybrid workforce. So, what do you need? How can you secure your hybrid workforce? So these are the 5 main ways that you could do so. The first being taking a zero trust approach to balance this out. Then verifying your user identity and the device trust whenever they are accessing your corporate network or your applications. Then holding the first line of defense with email security and DNS protection. Maintaining the last line of defense. This is at the endpoint level. And accelerating your threat intelligence or investigation and response. Next, we will look at all of these 5 points with the Cisco approach, how Cisco can secure your hybrid workforce. So next is about taking the next step. So let's head over to the secure hybrid work and how Cisco can help you protect your hybrid workforce and why Cisco is a solution for you. So as you can see, we've got 100% of the Fortune 100 companies using Cisco secure products, 900 million authentications per month, 87 million endpoints being detected, and a 50% reduction in alerts. So the last two are very crucial when it comes to securing your hybrid workforce. And 75% of reduction in malware as well. So these 2 points, as I said, your key here. And what are the benefits that you would get? Obviously, it's about the unification that you can have with the seamless integration of the solutions that Cisco carries with your workforce. Simplifying the ease and effective way to protect your users. Then anywhere and everywhere. Being hybrid, you need to give that security and peace of mind to your users, whether they're in the office, whether they're working remotely, or anywhere they are, right? So looking at the first point that we talked about, taking a zero trust approach. So the products that Cisco offer are the Cisco Secure Access, which is Duo. So these are the 5 core aspects that are covered by Duo. So we've got the adaptive MFA, which as you can see, ensuring that the users are who they say they are. Then the device posture and the health check. This is to ensure that the endpoint or the device that the user is accessing the application from adheres to the corporate policies, whether their browser is up to date, whether their endpoint is up to date, etc. Then the least privileged access. This is something that comes with zero trust and continuous verification. So every login keeps getting monitored. So Duo looks at every session that the user is using to access the applications. Then we've got the behavior analytics as well, taken care by Duo, which you can use it to detect and report any malicious activity that is being identified. Duo also integrates with our endpoint, which is a secure endpoint offering from Cisco, which makes the threat investigation and remediation a breeze. So the next product that we've got is the AnyConnect. Now, you might think of AnyConnect as just a software that enables your VPN access, but it's really much more. Basically, AnyConnect has become a unified agent that combines various Cisco products together to give you that enterprise grade security in just a small package. So as you can see, we've got the endpoint compliance check that it can do, the advanced and the basic VPN capabilities. Plus, it also integrates with the below solutions, as you can see. Especially to highlight is Cisco Umbrella, which it's got the Umbrella module that is available on the AnyConnect agent itself for your roaming users, plus your secure endpoint, your secure firewall, all of these integrations. Next, we look at how you can hold the first line of defense with DNS and the email protection. So this is taken care firstly by obviously Cisco Umbrella, which is classified as a first line of defense. And as you can see, these are the key, the core features that are available with Cisco Umbrella. First and foremost, the DNS layer security, which will stop threats before the traffic reaches your network. Then with our secure web gateway, we've got full URL visibility and control, to enforce policy blocks and to block the advanced threats. The cloud delivered firewall, this is available with our SIG offering. So you've got the SIG Essentials and the SIG Advantage. So this gives you layer 7 security across all sites to stop non-web based threats as well. Then the CASB, or the Cloud Access Security Broker. So with this integration that we have in Umbrella, you can discover, report, and control the cloud application usage of your users. Then we've got the interactive threat intelligence, which gives you real-time threat context, and the capability to expedite incident investigation and response. The last three, these are the latest additions that Cisco has done into Cisco Umbrella. So we've got the remote browser isolation. This basically provides you an added layer of protection for Umbrella by protecting against browser-based threats that can occur. Next, we've got DLP. So DLP is a solution that would solve your customers' issues that they would have, because this is available inline, and it's securing your data protection requirements and leveraging this new capability that is available with Cisco Umbrella. So again, the DLP, this is available with the SIG edition as well. And obviously the cloud malware detection. So this is a functionality that both can scan the exiting repository and scan new file uploads for malware to keep your repository clean and to prevent the downloads of bad files to other endpoints. Then you've got the SecureX, which is our integrated platform that we carry, which gives you a holistic view across your Cisco Secure deployment within the network, and even your third-party the solutions that you would have. It also has integration capabilities with your SIM solutions, etc., to create automated workflows and actions. Next, on the first line of defense, we've got the Cisco Secure email protection. So there's everything is mentioned there on the slide. So this obviously email still remains as one of the first or the highest threat vectors that are there. So Cisco has got you covered with all of these platforms being taken care by secure email, whether it is the cloud. We've got cloud email security. We've got cloud mailbox defense, which is dedicated for Microsoft 365. For your on-prem and virtual, you've got your ESA series, plus the same for hybrid. Multi-tenant capabilities are available as well, which is with our MSLA program for the managed service providers as well. So we've got the inbound and outbound protection, and this would give you a bit more detail on what is available and why Cisco Secure Email is a leader. So you can see all of the features and capabilities that are provided by Cisco Secure Email. Next, we look at how you can maintain the last line of defense. So we've got our secure endpoint, which is formerly known as AMP for endpoints. Now, the secure endpoint obviously fits into all of these, as you can see on the right. We takes care of your SASE, your secure remote worker, zero trust, your XDR capabilities, all of that is there. So we've got the the advanced EPP, the endpoint protection platform, and the EDR, the endpoint detection and response capabilities built in within our platform. So as you can see, we've got the protection, hardening, the detection and response capabilities. So I won't go through all of this as it's easily readable for you guys. And then the last, but not the least, obviously it's about accelerating threat intelligence and how you can get the response and remediation sorted, right? So we've got the SecureX platform, which is the cloud native technology that Cisco has, and it's not just another layer of security that is there, but it can improve the cross-functional collaboration with your teams within the organization, as you can see, your SecOps, your NetOps, or IT Ops. And it simplifies the security experience by addressing, as you can see, there's so much of data that is correlated, turned out into meaningful information with all of the alerts, etc. Plus, even with the third-party integrations that are there. Something to highlight about SecureX, it's something that is available with the Cisco Secure portfolio at no additional cost. And these are the three pillars of SecureX. It's mainly simplicity, giving you the visibility and the efficiency to secure and manage your network. Then we've got Cisco Talos. Obviously, this is one of our key aspects. So Talos is basically our, one of the largest non-governmental threat research organizations that are there on the planet. And, it just makes us proud, to talk about Cisco Talos. Then, before I end my session today, I just want to give you 5 tips that you can, secure your hybrid workforce. The first being educating your workforce on how to embrace secure work practices. Obviously, there are various trainings that are there, how you can that you can use to educate them. We internally have the training such as your phishing sessions, on social engineering, how you can detect these red flags and protect yourself and your organization. The second being, verifying who the user is and ensuring that they are who they say they are. So this is achieved by the MFA, Secure Access by Duo. Then enabling secure access from anywhere for your users. So this is enforcing the VPN usage so that they have a safe tunnel between your users and your applications. Defend against security threats at any point of entry. This is where the DNS layer security kicks in. And last but not least, unifying your security through simple and integrated platforms. This is where the SecureX platform and Talos threat intelligence comes in. Something I forgot to mention in the previous point, defending against any threats from any point of entry. As I'd shown, you've got the last line of defense as well at your endpoint, which is taken care by Cisco Secure Endpoint. So that's about it from me, everyone. I hope I had given you a quick overview on how you can secure hybrid workforce. Now, next we've got a short quiz, which just to ensure that you've got grasps what I have talked about. Thank you, and that's it from me, guys.
Thanks, Sanjaya. With that, we have come to a close for today's event. We hope that you found the information we shared today useful, and we request you to take part in the survey and provide us with your feedback. Please feel free to contact us for any support that you may need. We have shared our contact details in the chat section. We look forward to seeing you at our next event. Thank you.
Here at Westcon Comstore, we help partners realize their business and financial potential. We're passionate about delivering their financial success and growth. This drives what we do day in, day out. Our value to partners centers on our deep-rooted vendor relationships. This means we can help partners capture business opportunities with established and emerging technology providers. Importantly, we are equally close to partners, global and local. With custom-made business support, based on our exclusive Edge model, we're a seamless extension to partner operations. We share the same focus on delivering what the end customer needs. We take responsibility when the going gets tough, and we're in it for the long term. Should things get complex, we can deploy our extensive service capabilities. If a customer RFP stretches resources, we can help to flex and scale with access to our wide range of technical experts. We understand what it is to be truly end-to-end. We also pave the way for our partners' future growth. The technology marketplace is changing, and we can help partners meet their customers' digital transformation needs. Our know-how includes consumption and subscription-based models, as well as integrated supply chain. We aim to simplify the channel and to make doing business easy. So, partners present and future, at Westcon Comstore, we're right by your side.
We understand that partners need more than just solutions to succeed. They need to adapt to changes in the market. They must stay agile and on top of new trends, technologies and products. Only with the right support, insight and innovation can they expect to grow and thrive. Introducing Edge, our unique, tailored approach to every opportunity and our commitment to every partner. More than just a word, Edge is how we translate our difference into real value, value our competitors can't match. Edge provides the framework to ensure partners engage and onboard with our vendor portfolio and core services. We develop their business with pre-sales consultancy and support, including certification, training and mentoring. We help them grow with financial and capital support, alongside marketing and access to new vendors and technologies. Plus, we extend their reach by unlocking more profitable international opportunities and expanding into new markets. We work with each partner to understand their individual needs and tailor these materials and tools so they're a perfect fit wherever they are in the market or sales cycle. Find out how we can accelerate your business and get a competitive edge. Talk to the Westcon Comstore team today.
Well, Comstore have enjoyed a global relationship with Cisco for more than 25 years now, and we have an exclusive focus on Cisco products. It's all we do, and this is great because it allows us to have all of the knowledge that we need to help our partners grow as fast as they can on their Cisco business. Comstore believe that it's really important to ensure that we have subject matter experts aligned to all of the architectures at Cisco. We have that on a central basis in our EMEA team, but we also have it replicated in every single country. This allows us to have on the ground subject matter experts on those architectures to help our partners. And we believe that if our partners get access to that, they're going to accelerate their business more quickly. My one key takeaway would be that we believe we consistently grow our partners' business faster than any other distributor in the channel.